And at a different scale, this is the effect on albedo at the sort of mountain range scale. And just FYI, the San Juan Mountains at large, the whole system, are about the size of the Swiss Alps. And that'll give you a little perspective on the area we're looking at. This is a satellite image taken, and this is true color, not at all doctored. These are cloud tops, which really are true white. They're comparable to snow in terms of their reflectivity. So this is something on the order of 100% albedo, the cloud tops, and this is how the snowpack looked in mid-May last year compared to late May the year before. And on this day, May 31st, if you'd have gone into our study site right here and looked at the snow surface, you would have said, wow, this snow is dirty. What's going on here? And that was the 12 grams per square meter compared to the 55. This is some work that one of Tom Painter's graduate students has done just lately using those same satellite imagery, but using different kind of analysis of that. And there's the San Juans again, and Central Mountains, Front Range, flat tops, circles. There's the whole Colorado mountain system. And on this scale, I'm pretty sure these are watts of radiative forcing, sort of like that other graph I showed you, showing the effects of the dust on the snow surface and the amount of extra energy that this albedo or this surface is actually absorbing at the time of this image. And you can see here some of the lingering effects of the late May. Well, this isn't late May, but it's right around May 15th, things started getting wet again last spring. You may remember that, we went from that first 2 weeks of May were quite dry, totally sunny, and then we went back to winter for the second half of May and early June, and that started over here with some fresh snow and restored the albedo back to something close to zero radiative forcing. So this is a really exciting product because this enables us to calculate the radiative forcing caused by this dust over a time series of these images over the whole spring and actually estimate how much extra energy got absorbed by the snowpack over the course of a season. I mentioned right at the start that we're just now on a tour of the whole state, and these are sites where this is our Senator Beck study area, but we're also traveling to these sites to dig snow pits and actually document the presence or absence of dust. And on this trip, we're documenting the absence of any dust in the snowpack in these various watersheds on behalf of the water managers for these watersheds. So we've been on this trip already to the Park Cone site, which most of these are next to a snowtel site. You're all familiar with snowtel sites, I'm sure. Spring Creek Pass, where there is no snowtel, Wolf Creek, Hoosier, Loveland, Berthoud, Willow Creek, Rabbit Ears today. This morning we dug our pit here. We just had a great tour today of the Storm Peak lab on top of Steamboat Ski Area. They're quite interested in atmospheric aerosols and cloud processes, things like that, but are really anxious to add an instrument array up here that's just like ours down here to help us, really capture what we don't know about dust from this source area. or this source area. We don't have instrumentation now to monitor albedo up there. And then tomorrow, we've got to go to McClure and up to Grand Mesa, where we did install a tower just like our Senator Beck site last fall. And there's just a few pictures from last spring and what we found in these snow pits. Here we are at Wolf Creek on about the same, you'll see a series here of shots from a week-long tour. These three dust layers really represented the dominant loading that we saw last year in 3 consecutive events. There was more dust down deeper, and there was more dust to come after these. Here we are. The next day on Bertha, during the big blizzard of April 2009, this is all new snow from here up that day. And then those same 3 layers, those same 3 major layers were present at Berthoud. And we went on to Willow Creek and Rabbit Ears, same 3 layers present everywhere we went, from north to south. And these are the 3 layers I dug in a pit a little bit later, April 22nd, at our study site near Red Mountain Pass. And any one of these 3 layers would have represented a monumental dust on snow event, larger than anything we'd seen before, including the February 15th, 2006 layer, which did affect Vail, did affect the whole state. This is kind of interesting. The dust layers up above tree line don't tend to be as nicely, discrete as they are below tree line, because the dust is often, almost typically, usually entrained in new snow and will redistribute just like the snow that the dust comes with. So you'll have concentrations here and no dust there. But essentially, it's all there. It just may be redistributed in different intensities, different locations. Well, last year was particularly kind of convenient from a research perspective, because as you probably know, this is a plot of the SNOWTEL data, snow water equivalence accumulation, and then ablation or snow melt late in the winter. And the black line in these plots represents a mean, usually a 30-year average. This plot also includes a median plot, the dashed line, which is in a lot of ways a little bit more meaningful statistic, because these mean plots tend to be affected by late season snowfall that produce this tail out to the right. The median plot is a little better way to represent when the snow actually disappears. And this plot, the median, is over the whole period of record for the site, not just the past 30 years. So it's a little more robust. And then the red line represents the actual year in progress, the water year in progress. And last year at Red Mountain Pass turned out to be just about a perfectly average year.